officials of the Transnet and the Port Authority. It was a very extensive meeting. They were able to outline their plans that they have. Earlier to this, I had had occasion to meet business people, particularly here in Durban, who had raised concerns about the congestion here in the port, as well as the inefficiencies. They were complaining that their goods were not traveling as quickly as they should, and they were losing money, and the waiting period was quite too long. And we took this to heart, and I got the Minister of Public Enterprises together with the Premier to meet with the business people. And today was what we call an ikuhlola type of visit. We've come to make an assessment of some of the measures and the plans that have been put in place by Transnet, the management. I must say that I was hugely impressed about the plans that they've put in place, and they've already started the process of addressing the concerns that were raised by the private sector. Now, the congestion has lessened quite substantially, and the queuing of trucks with the containers has lessened quite substantially, and the CEO, Portia Darby, is busy together with her executives and working with the board, of course, to get rid of the inefficiencies. But what is more pleasing is that they're making plans for the future. They're already looking at 2032 and putting forward a plan which is going to require 100 billion rand to invest, and which will create up to 180,000 type of jobs in the intervening period. Now, the plans fit in very well with the reforms that we've been talking about, that we want to see reforms that will also impact on how our ports function. Now, Transnet, as far as I'm concerned, has turned the corner. It is now under really good management, good corporate governance as well through the board, and it's working together with various stakeholders and advancing our district development model, working with the province at a very deep level, working out plans together with the municipality, and that's what we wanted to hear and to see. That is now underway, and they've already mapped up the whole port area and identified nodes or areas that require improvement, expanding the footprint of the port, and making sure that there can be a container area and a bulk area and all that. So all that is most impressive. So I walk away from my visit here at Durban Port extremely encouraged, elated, and the aspirations that and the plans and the vision that we've put out as a country fits in very well. Durban Port is a national asset. It is the most important port in the economic architecture of our country, and we want Durban Port to function. When Durban Port does not function, it has a negative impact on trade and commerce in the whole nation, and it is therefore important that it should. So we're very pleased that the management has it in hand, and all that remains now is implementation. And the chairman of the board, Mr. Ramaphosa, told me that they are going to implement. This is an implementable plan. They know, the executives know, led by Portia Darby, they know exactly what needs to be done to implement this plan, working together with the province and with the city, the metro. They know exactly where it's going to go. And it's going to have wonderful areas, entertainment areas, and allowing people to be able to come. And this is a dream in the making. It's going to be a really success story, and we're very pleased with the way it is going forward. So I walk away from here a happy man. And thank you very much. Through my happiness, I don't think you even have a single question.
Mr. President, just about the opposition that we've seen by, for example, Satau outside.
Yes.
They have their fears as they put in their placards about privatization.
Yeah.
Is there any way that you would like to respond to that?
We're not privatizing Transnet. We are going to be proceeding with what we have already said, that a number of other investments are so big that they require partners to be brought on board. Transnet is a state-owned enterprise. We're not privatizing it. Transnet will continue to bring in partners and work with them. As it is now, on this very port, we're working with a number of other partners. They work with us, and we need to draw great benefit from the private sector that can bring in money, that can bring in technology. But the way Transnet is being strengthened now, we believe that we are in a much stronger position to be able to work with other partners from a position of strength. And so therefore, workers need not fear. They need not fear for the loss of their jobs. Their jobs will carry on. And if anything, it will just be shifting here and there from one division to the other. But in the main, we are going to create jobs here. We're going to create tens and tens of thousands of jobs. So we're going to be meeting with Satau to assure them and also to hear their views, because it's also important that we should hear their views. So I have no real fear or concern. And as a government, the governing party, we will continue to be biased towards the working class. And our objective here is to be developmental. We want to develop this whole port area, the precinct, for the benefit of the people of eThekwini, the province, and South Africa as a whole.
Mr. President, can you just briefly comment on the issue of the relocation of the head office of
the relocation of the headquarters of the Port Authority is a matter that is in discussion. Transnet has decided from a commercial point of view in a particular direction, and of course the province has other aspirations, and we did address it and said, I prefer that we should sit down and discuss this matter and find a workable and amicable solution around this. So it's not a train smash.
Prisoners to move from sea to air.
Last question.
As we continue to battle with the COVID-19 pandemic, are there any vaccine companies that you're approaching following what has happened with the J&J?
As I've always said, even in the national addresses, we work with a number of vaccine developers and manufacturers. We work with the Chinese, the Russians, and the Cubans, and European companies and so forth. So we're not the only country that are encountering setbacks when it comes to vaccines. Many countries around the world. And remember that on the vaccine side, we are traversing uncharted territory, all of us around the world. And our objective as a government has always been to protect the lives of South Africans. And that we will continue to do, and we will continue to make choices. And as it is now, we are procuring vaccines from a number of areas. Johnson & Johnson is halted for now, and hopefully not for too long, because the scientists are going to look at the efficacy of the vaccine. Already Pfizer will be arriving, and Sputnik will also be arriving, as well as Sinopharm. So we procure vaccines from all over, but the important thing is to protect the lives of South Africans. Thank you very much.
In terms of job creation, what about leadership in state-owned entities and government? We heard Natasha yesterday said that the ANC is committed to cadre development and cadre deployment in government. Do you not think people should be in government on merit?
Well, I'm going to answer that question when I appear before the Zondo Commission myself. So hold your breath until then. You've already heard what he said. Hold your breath. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks. Take care. Thank you so much.
TK.
I need to speak to